Good evening, Philippines. My name is Sass Rogando Sasot, and this is Statecraft. In politics, survival is everything. Tonight, we will be having a conversation with a politician who has survived every controversy that he has faced in his entire political career. I will be having a conversation with Senator Jinggoy Estrada about his legislative priorities and his perspectives on issues of labor and employment and security and defense. Good evening, Senator Estrada. Welcome to Statecraft.
Paka-seryoso mo naman. Good evening, Sass, and to all televiewers. Magandang gabi po.
Sir, let me begin with this question related to this really amazing mural. Kasi, it tells the story of, I think,
My life.
your political life, no?
Yes,
your
yes.
family, etc. And it contains, of course, a part that involves the controversies that you faced. So, can you tell our viewers, what lessons have you learned from those experiences that you had?
Well, first let me explain that mural. No, on the left-hand side, sa left, that was when I started my political career as Vice Mayor and Mayor of San Juan. I became Vice Mayor for 4 years and Mayor for 3 consecutive terms, so 9 years. And after which, I became a Senator for 12 years. And then, saan pa ba?
Your family?
And of course, my family, my wife and my children, my 4 children, and my brother and my sister, Jude and Jackie. Ayun. Then, of course, it's common knowledge that I also became a prisoner.
So what have you learned from that, sir?
Well,
See, it's not something,
yeah,
it's
quite
I think we know
colorful.
the story.
My life is quite colorful. Well, what I've learned from all this is that when I was first incarcerated with my father way back in 2001, if my memory serves me right, well, you learn to be humble, and I got closer to the Lord. I was always praying every day. And then sabi ko nga, nung pagkalaya ko, during my first time, I will try to help all the people who needs my help. And fortunately, when I ran for the Senate for the first time, 2004, I still had the pending case. The people voted for me in office as a senator.
Sir, before we talk about your, fresh new mandate as a senator, may gusto lang ako itanong sa mural kasi na-intriga ako. Meron ditong part na meron kayong hawak-hawak na bangus. Can you tell us what is it about?
Well, during the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, my mom has a fish pen in her own province, Zambales. And siyempre, nung pandemic, bihira yung mga bumibili ng bangos, no? So, nung harvest time, wala kami mapapagdalahan nung na-harvest na bangos kasi halos walang bumibili. So, what my mom told me is that you just give it out to the poor. So, that's what I did. So, siyempre, I started here in my hometown. May kasabihan nga tayo, charity begins at home. So, I organized it following the health and safety protocols. It was in the height of the pandemic. So yun, namigay ako ng mga bangos sa aking mga kababayan dito sa San Juan. But unfortunately, the mayor here in San Juan called up the police and pinakulong niya ako. Allegedly, wala raw akong permit, wala raw akong coordination sa mayor's office. But sabi ko, itong mga isda, these are perishable items that needed to be disposed right away. So kung kukuha pa akong permit, kung di naman aksyonan ng mga nando sa City Hall, mabubulok lang yung mga isda. Sayang, imbis na mapakinabangan ng mga mahirap, mabubulok lang. Tsaka ngayon lang ako ngayon ko lang na tawag dito, na kailangan pa ng permit para makatulong. Dati nung araw na mayor ko, hindi naman kinakailangan ng permit para tumulong eh.
Kaya nakaka-intriga yung bangus. Yung pala yung story na yun. Sir, so you had all these controversies that you faced as a politician. But now you had been given a chance again by the electorate to serve by the electorate.
Yeah.
To serve as senator. And it's kind of a turn of event. You know, I must say a redemption arc, especially that you're part of, you know, the unity, which is the most, I think,
Popular.
Popular president, vice president, and senatorial slate.
Yeah.
I think even in the recent political memory of the nation. So how does this inspire you? Because this is like an extraordinary mandate.
Well, first of all, I'm so grateful and thankful to the Filipino electorate for putting me into office again for the third time as your senator. And also, I'm also grateful to the UNI team headed by President Marcos and Vice President Jinggoy Estrada for including me in their lineup. Kasi malaking bagay sa akin yun na madala ko ng kumbaga dream team noong nakaraang eleksyon. Well, that shows that I'm vindicated. No? Ibig sabihin, hindi naniniwala yung mga majority ng ating mga kababayan. Hindi naniniwala sa mga paratang laban sa akin. Well, I will also prove them wrong, and I hope the courts will decide in my favor. And of course, given yung mandate by the electorate, of course, I have to be very careful. No room for carelessness and no room for mistakes. And I promise you, and I promise my people that I will do my job. Magtatrabaho po ako ng buong katapatan.
Sir, speaking about pagtatrabaho, I read your profile, and during your two previous terms as senator, you filed more than 600 bills to protect and empower workers, OFWs, and the youth. And that's quite a lot of number of bills.
Yeah.
So my question is, sir, do you have a personal political philosophy that coheres your actions?
Well, first
in
of all, the 600 bills that I filed, hindi lang tungkol sa labor yan.
Okay.
Kalat-kalat yan. May tungkol sa health. Pero more or less, karamihan doon, labor-related bills because I was elected chairman of the Committee on Labor for the past 12 years when I was still a senator from 2004 up to 2016. In fact, I had passed a lot of bills that were enacted into law. And the first landmark bill that I passed was the Kasambahay Law, which caters to around 2 to 3 million kasambahays nationwide. Ibig sabihin nun, kailangan natin bigyan ng konting dignidad yung ating mga kasambahay.
Kasi I can still remember that law kasi it professionalizes house help.
Because let's face it, this is one of the sector that has been neglected. Kasi kawawa na yung ating mga kasambahay ko, ano-ano tinatawag sa kanila. Meron katulong, muchacha, may atchay, kung ano-ano tinutulong. So it's very degrading for them. So inisip namin na bigyan naman natin ng dignidad itong ating mga kasambahay. Kasi kaya kasambahay, ibig sabihin kasama sa bahay. Siyempre, pag darating ang amo, madaling araw, sino ba nagbubukas? Hindi naman yung anak mo, hindi naman yung asawa mo, kundi kasambahay mo. So, bigyan mo natin ng dignidad itong mga taong ito.
Pero sir, but do you have like a personal political philosophy that guides you in your legislative
Well,
action?
first of all, I ran sa slogan na anak ng masa. Okay? So, ang aking mindset, lahat yung mga kasapi na masang Pilipino, for example, yung mga kasambahay, yung mga magsasaka, yung mga laborers, mga taxi driver, kung ano, kailangan ma-uplift yung kanilang mga buhay. Yun ang kabilin-bilinan ng tatay ko nung araw. When I first was elected as senator in 2004, sabi niya sa akin, Jinggoy, huwag mo akong pahiyain sa Senado. Basta isipin mo ang kapakanan ng ating mga mahihirap na kababayan. Dahil kung wala sila, kung wala masang Pilipino, walang Joseph Estrada. So, yun ang nakatatak sa isip ko. So, kailangan talaga, pag masang Pilipino na ang pinag-uusapan, kailangan talaga pagtuunan natin ng pansin.
So that's why a lot of your bills are related sa common tao.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sir, before we go on a break, I would just like to ask you about your fresh mandate and the challenges that our country is facing. As I gathered, your plan this term is to revive and re-energize all that have been weakened by the pandemic, our health systems, jobs, food security, education, LGUs, agriculture, and the digitalization needed just to enable and revitalize our economy. So what are your key priority legislations?
Well, for example, nobody expected this to happen. We were not prepared. Our country was not prepared. Not only our country, maybe all of the countries in the world were not prepared for this pandemic. For example, sa healthcare natin, nakita naman natin nung nagkaroon ng kasagsagan ng pandemic, kulang tayo sa health facilities, kulang tayo sa mga nurses, kulang tayo sa mga doktor. So, yun ang kailangan natin pagtuunan ng pansin. Kaya sabi nga ni President Marcos, ng kanyang SONA, kailangan yung mga health facilities, yung mga magagandang ospital, like for example, yung heart center, lung center, kidney center, kailangan wag lang dito sa Metro Manila, kung hindi, kada region ay merong ganong klaseng hospital that will cater to the needs of our people. Kaya yun, isa na yun. Sa trabaho naman, alam naman natin na maraming nawalan ng trabaho because of the pandemic. That's why I am thinking of ways and means to legislate, to craft a law that would provide jobs for our people. At yung agrikultura, kailangan natin siguro palakasin ang agrikultura natin. Kailangan siguro natin suportahan yung ating mga magsasaka. Pagdating na naman sa edukasyon, alam ko marami na siguro ang batang nagsasuffer sa education natin because of this pandemic. Kailangan na siguro talaga na magkaroon na talaga na face-to-face classes. And I think nagkakaroon na ngayon, no? Nag-umpisa na ngayon ang face-to-face classes.
Sir, regarding doon sa sinabi niyo about the different health centers, specialist centers.
Yeah.
Yung ba?
Specialized hospital.
Specialized hospitals like the Kidney Institute, Heart Center, Lung Center, etc. Yung magkakaroon sa iba't ibang
regions.
Do you think, sir, it's feasible within the next 6 years that we can achieve this?
That might be a tall order, but if there is a political will, why not?
And I think, the president has a lot of political capital.
Yes, right? The president is very serious and he has a lot of big political capital, and it has been shown by the recent elections. He garnered 31 million votes. The first elected majority president. Not even my dad was a majority president. Not even President Duterte was a majority president.
Thank you so much, Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Before we continue, we will just have a short break. Statecraft will be back.
Did you know that water is the only drink that can quench your thirst? Drink Galilee Purified Drinking Water. Every bottle undergoes advanced scientific process to ensure a safe, clean, and pure bottle. So what are you waiting for? Drink Galilee Drinking Water. Every bottle is a labor of love. For delivery, contact Galilee Purified Drinking Water at 0956-658-4195 or 0998-466-0202 or 8572-1869.
Hanap mo ba ay food cart business? At magsimula ng sariling negosyo na hindi kinakailangan ng franchise fee? Mura at abot kayang halaga? Narito ang S&D Food Carts para sa'yo. Ang S&D Food Carts ay gumagawa at nagsusupply ng mga mura at abot kayang halaga ng mga food stalls, bike carts, motor carts, kiosk, food van, mall carts, display racks, tables, chairs, at iba't ibang wood and metal products. Subok na matibay, maaasahan at mapagkakatiwalaan. Ang S&D Food Carts ay mayroong Luzon at Mindanao branch na pwede ninyong lapitan para sa negosyong swak na swak. S&D Food Cart, your partner to success.
Welcome back to Statecraft. Still with us is Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Sir, let's now proceed to discussing your two Senate committee chairmanships this 19th Congress. So the first one is the Senate Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development. And I believe that you held this committee chairmanship.
For 12 years.
For 12 years before. So in this 19th Congress, what do you think should be the legislative priorities
Can
of
I
the
just
committee?
read my notes?
Sure.
Okay. As of August 17, there are 50 bills that were already referred to the Committee on Labor. However, kasi before, 12 years ago, when I was first elected as the chairman of the Committee on Labor, hawak ko lahat.
Okay.
Local and overseas. Ibig sabihin, local domestic labor natin, tsaka yung mga OFWs. Okay? Ngayon, hinati. Sa akin yung labor, hinati. Tapos yung kabila, Committee on Migrant Workers, which is chaired now by Senator Raffy Tulfo. Kasi malapit ang puso ni Senator Raffy sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers. At ganoon din po yung inyong lingkod. When I travel abroad, especially when I go to yung mga maraming OFWs like Saudi, the Middle East, and Hong Kong, ang pinaka-importante sa akin, I have to visit the embassy para mabisita ko yung mga distressed overseas Filipino workers. In fact, when I went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, and in Kuwait, when I saw all our kababayans, yung mga distressed OFWs, yung mga iba, nabuntis ng amo, minamaltrato, binubugbog, tapos hindi binabayaran, hindi binibigay yung kanilang salaries. Yung mga iba doon, gusto lang umuwi at makapiling nila yung kanilang mga pamilya dito sa atin. So what I did, I talked to the officer there, the labor attaché, doon sa embassy, tinanong ko sa kanila kung ilan yung qualified na umuwi sa Pilipinas. Kasi siyempre, kailangan ayusin yung kanilang mga dokumento. So, nung sinabi mga 15, 20, alam mo, inuwi ko kagad yun. Inuwi ko sila sa Pilipinas. Hindi naman po sa pagbubuhat ng sarili natin, bangko, wala ho tayong hininging pera sa gobyerno para sa kanilang pamasahe. So, I did not, hindi ako naningil sa repatriation fund ng Department of Labor. So, dahil sa awa ko lang sa ating mga OFWs, inuwi ko na lang sila. But anyway, ito yung mga labor-related priority measures ko. No? Senate Bill number 42, Magna Carta for Workers in the Informal Economy. I first filed it in 2010 during the 15th Congress. The legislation is a significant contribution in fulfilling the constitutional mandate of social justice and human rights for the poor. This bill provides the rights and benefits of workers, legitimate organization for workers in the informal economy.
Okay.
And it establishes labor standards, enforcement of labor laws for workers in the informal economy, and prescribes social protection and provision of social insurance programs from SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth. And there are a lot more bills, labor-related bills that I have filed in this 19th Congress.
Sir, itong informal economy bill, this is going to be huge kasi a lot of our, they are a huge driving force of our economy, no? The informal sector.
Yes, kaya sa aking palagay, kailangan talaga pagtuunan natin ng pansin itong Senate Bill number 42 because this was not passed during the 15th Congress at hindi yata naka-first base itong batas nito. Kaya itong panukalang batas. So I will make sure that siguro within the 6 years of my tenure as a senator, lahat yung mga bills na na-file ko and other bills that was referred to my committee, siguraduhin ko I will hear all of them. So yun, siguro sa dami nito, sa daming labor-related bills, palagay ko, kunin nyo na lang sa Senate yung mga records nito.
Sir, I'm pretty sure, my next question is about a very controversial labor topic. Kasi I think every administration...
Endo?
Oo, yung
Yun ba yun?
endo. Correct, endo. No? It's such a huge labor and employment issue. Sir, why do you think it's so hard for our country to really end this practice?
Alam mo, when I was chairman of the Senate Labor Committee, Senate Committee on Labor, siguro that was my second term already, when I conducted a hearing with regard to the endo. Alam mo, marami kasing masalimuot yan eh. You have, syempre nandyan yung mga kapitalista, nandyan yung mga employees. You have to strike a balance eh. Kasi if you do not strike a balance, baka malugi yung negosyo. Eh lalo baka mag-collapse yung ekonomiya natin. That's why it's really hard, but I will still try my very best to strike a balance, no? Na hindi marugabyado yung mga empleyado at hindi marugabyado yung mga negosyante.
Sir, another labor-related issue that I think it's going to be relevant under the BBM administration concerns government workers. Kasi the BBM administration plans to right-size the government. And I believe that a lot of government workers would be affected by this plan. So, sir, how do you think the government should proceed regarding balancing the need to be more efficient and protecting the welfare of our government workers?
What I read from the papers, from the newspaper account, is that around 2 million government workers might be affected because of the right-sizing plan of the government. Ako naman, during the campaign, ang lagi ko sinasabi, ang campaign promise ko, trabaho para sa lahat. Tapos bigla tayo magtatanggal ng marami mga apekto na around 2 million government workers might be affected. Ang problema kasi dyan, well, well, while that is true, na marami talagang mga nagkakaroon ng overlapping or duplication of functions sa isang government agency, kailangan talagang i-right size. Kaso mo, ang problema sa right sizing, baka magkaroon ng mismatch, job mismatch. For example, halimbawa, ako, nasa isang government agency ako, nag-duplicate tayo ng function. Isa sa atin, siguro, kailangan matanggal o ilipat. Paano yun pag nilipat ka sa isang government agency na hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung trabaho mo? So, kakaroon tayo ng job mismatch. Yun lang talaga ang aking concern.
So ano to?
No, siguro, pag talagang worst comes to worst, kung talagang kailangan natin mag-right sizing, siguro kailangan gumawa ang Department of Labor ng paraan kung saan nila bibigyan ng trabaho itong maapektuhan ng 2 million government workers.
So, in principle, you're not against the right size?
I'm not against it, but I'm not for it also.
Okay. Bakit?
Kasi, kawawa yung mga tao sa pupunta yung mga, pag nagutom yung mga yan, pag wala na makain, yan lang ang source of income nila, sweldo nila sa gobyerno, pag nawalan sila ng trabaho, magiging criminal yung mga yan. Magnanakaw na magnanakaw. Sabi nga ng tatay ko, a hungry stomach knows no law. Ang kumakalam na sikmura, wala nang kinikilalang batas. So, ano gagawin? Pupunta sa convenience store yan, magnanakaw nila yan para may pakain sa kanilang mga anak.
So, is there something na...
Lalong dadami mga kriminal natin.
So, is this something, sir, na the administration should proceed with so much caution?
Yes.
Okay. Kasi ang daming mga apekto.
Unless the government or particularly the Department of Labor can find ways and means to give them jobs or livelihood programs.
Sir, you mentioned earlier na before the Senate Committee on Labor, magkasama yung OFW and the local laborers.
Yes.
And now, it has been separated. Do you think it's a good idea na they were separated?
Well, honestly, that is for political convenience.
Okay. But in terms of, for example, sir, efficiency and...
Well, okay naman because si Senator Raffy Tulfo naman, yesterday, I think he delivered a privileged speech with regard to the OFW, but I was not there. To listen to him, but I heard that it was a powerful, privileged speech, in favor of our overseas Filipino workers. I know that Senator Raffy Tulfo has really a heart for our OFWs.
Thank you, Senator Estrada. Before we continue, we will just have another short break. Statecraft will be back.
Nais mo bang mapanood ang SMNI sa telebisyon? Kung ikaw ay Sky Cable subscriber, narito ang mga channels kung saan pwedeng mapanood ang SMNI. Sa National Capital Region, Sky Cable Channel 162. Cebu, Sky Cable Channel 37. Davao City, Sky Cable Channels 14, 43 at 46. General Santos City, Sky Cable Channel 37. Zamboanga, Sky Cable Channel 53. Bacolod, Sky Cable Channel 37. Iloilo, Sky Cable Channel 36. Dumaguete, Sky Cable Channel 37. Baguio, Sky Cable Channel 14. At Lawag, Sky Cable Channel 10. Para naman sa mga Signal subscribers ay mapapanood ang SMNI sa Channel 186 sa buong bansa. Maaari ring mapanood ang SMNI sa Digital TV sa Davao City at Manila. Pati na rin sa TV Plus at GMA Affordabox. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Panoorin mo na ang SMNI sa inyong telebisyon. Dahil dito sa SMNI, taong bayan ang bida.
We don't need to explain because truth needs no justification. We are not afraid because the truth will always win. When we ask questions, it's always for the good of all. We question to build, not to break. We question to clarify, not to confuse. We question to protect, not hurt. Truth hurts, but it heals. Tune in to SMNI, where truth is free. SMNI, defining true press freedom.
Welcome back to Statecraft. Still with us is Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Sir, let's now proceed to the other committee, the National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation. Napakahaba, sir, ng pangalan ng committee. And I think everyone knows what defense and security aspects of your committee actually pertains to. But what about peace, unification, and reconciliation?
Well, first of all, this is my first time to
head this committee.
handle this committee. No, usually, ang nag-chair nitong committee, may military background.
Okay.
Okay, for example, the first one, during my time, my first time when I was elected 2004, as far as my memory serves me right, it was Senator Biason. And then, after which, was followed by Senator Honasan.
Okay.
And the latest to chair this committee was Senator Lacson. All of them has had a military background. So ako, civilian lang ako. And I had to study all the problems of
Defense and security.
Defense. Actually, I have spoken to the former Senate President and now the Presidential Legal Advisor,
Senator
my mentor, Senator Enrile. And I also had a meeting with the National Security Advisor, Professor Clarita Carlos, just to give me a brief and meaningful background with regard to the defense. Kasi syempre bulag tayo rito. But I can still handle this committee. In fact, I held an organizational meeting last week. The presence of the OIC Secretary of National Defense, General Faustino, and the Deputy Chief of Staff, I think it was Vice Admiral Reyes, who attended the hearing. And there were three priority legislative measures that they wanted it to be passed in the 19th Congress. And if I may, I will just mention the three priority measures that they recommended. First is the National Defense Act to provide a national defense structure that is more responsive to the current and future conventional and non-conventional security threats. Second is the ROTC program to motivate, train, organize, and mobilize students for national defense preparedness, including disaster preparedness and capacity building for risk-related situation. And number 3 is the Philippine Defense Industry Development Act. That is to introduce policy reforms that would strengthen the DND's capabilities to support the development of the defense industry, provide incentives for firms within the industry to locate and grow domestically, and streamline government processes.
Okay.
So ito mga
ROTC,
ito,
Defense Industry.
and National Defense Act. Ito mga ito, I have to study this thoroughly in order for me to have a grasp of these priority measures.
Ang mainit dyan sa tatlong yun, sir, is the ROTC bill.
ROTC.
Oo.
May issue dyan.
Oo nga. Anong tingin niyo dyan sa ROTC?
Well, kasi sometimes ang iniisip ng tao pag ROTC, para ka na para sa gera.
Correct.
And that is not correct, and that is not true. Siguro, this is one of mentioned by President Marcos during his SONA. So itong tatlong priority measures, this is in line with what President Marcos mentioned in his SONA. So yung tungkol naman sa ROTC, katulad nga nakalagay dito, to motivate, train, organize, and mobilize the students for national defense preparedness, including disaster preparedness and capacity building for risk-related situations. Ibig sabihin, pagka may kalamidad, halimbawa, o may lindol, o may bagyo, siguro pwede natin immobilize itong mga estudyanteng ito. Wala naman nakalagay na preparing them for war.
Yeah, kasi I think ang misconception kasi, sir, that the military is only for war, but a lot of their work is actually humanitarian assistance related during calamity.
So, siguro the government wants to prepare our students or our kids for that purpose. Hindi naman para sa gera. Kasi we cannot afford to go to war. My goodness. Siyempre, malawak itong national defense. You have this West Philippine Sea. No? Pag-aaralan mo pa yan. At marami pang iba.
Sir, so yung committee name, meron siyang aspeto ng peace, unification, and reconciliation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this related to the peace process?
Yes.
With the
Yes,
CPP and
definitely.
PNP? Sir,
Definitely.
Sir, what is your opinion on this? Should the government still pursue peace talks with CPP, NPA, and
Well, according to Professor Clarita Carlos, itong NTF-LCAC will not recommend any peace talks anymore with the
CPP, NPA?
with the CPP NPA. Instead, they are planning to have an amnesty
Okay.
for all of them. So sabi ko naman, okay naman magkaroon ng amnestia para sa kanila. Ang problema kasi sa amnesty, once you lay down your arms, your firearms or whatever, ang problema kasi nangyayari, yung mga ibang susuko, ang sinusuko nila yung mga lumang baril nila, lumang armas nila, kung ano-anong klaseng armas na hindi na nagagamit. Tapos babayaran ka ng gobyerno. Tapos ibabayad sa'yo ng gobyerno, bibili na naman sila ng bagong armas. Para tayo ginigis sa sarili natin mantika.
So nagkakaroon ng ng cycle na
and that has been, I think that has been happening. No? Kaya nga nung panahon ng tatay ko, nung sabagay, ibang topic naman yun, when he declared an all-out war against the Abu Sayyaf ba yun, o MILF. Talagang na-capture natin yung mga kampo na pugad ng mga Abu Sayyaf.
So, sir, do you intend to review the proposal for amnesty sa inyong... is this part of your...
let's study it thoroughly. I have to listen to the stakeholders concerned.
Sir, I'm now down to my last question. Kasi...
Salamat.
Sir, kasi you have, there are a lot of new senators right now in the Senate, and you have been once a rookie
Yes.
senator. Sir, what kind of advice are you mentoring these new senators, sir?
Sometimes, I give unsolicited advice.
Okay.
Of course, sa aking kaibigan, Senator Robin, who is practically new in the Senate without any political background. No, he has never been a local executive, a congressman, or even a senator. So, syempre, alalayan natin yung mga bagong senador.
Sir, what have you learned from being a rookie senator before, during your time? Kasi
Before?
it was a very
Before was
lively
really
Senate.
a lively Senate, if I may call it. Kasi we have the likes of Senator Enrile, Senator Miriam, Senator Joker, Senator Nene Pimentel. Lahat yan mga batikang senador. Kasi nung araw, based from my experience, nung bagong salta lang ako dyan Senado, yung mga veterano senador, tinitingnan yung mga bagong senador, kung hanggang saan ka, hanggang saan ang kaya mo rito, mga ganon. So parang nabubuli kami dun sa mga bagong senador. Kaya one time, si Senator Enrile delivered a privilege speech. Galit na galit. Sabi niya, "This is not an institution for learning. You have to come here, enter the plenary, enter the session hall well prepared." Patay ka, kung sino kaya pinatatamaan ito, baka ako o yung aking mga ibang kasama. So, that stuck in my mind, no? Sabi ko, my God, I have to study. Ako naman, kahit pa paano naman, meron naman tayong tinapos sa kolehiyo. So, at nakapag-aral din tayo ng batas. No, I studied I entered the College of Law. Kaya lang hindi ko nga tinapos. 4 years ako rin sa College of Law. At least kahit pa paano nagagamit natin. So yun, kapag-aral tayo. And I saw myself debating already with Senator Miriam, Senator Enrile. So yun.
So do you intend to be the senator and really or Miriam to the new senator?
Right now, parang bulihin yung mga bagong senador, hindi na siguro. Lahat naman yan mga kaibigan natin.
Maraming salamat po, Senator Jinggoy Estrada.
Okay,
para
thank
sa
you,
inyong
Sass. I hope you enjoyed.
Of course, ang dami-naming napulot na insights sa inyo.
So, may I ask you another question? A question. When is my time to interview you?
Kausapin niyo po si Pastor, sir. Pero maraming salamat, Senator Jinggoy. And thank you for watching Statecraft. And thank you to our honorary chairman, Pastor Apollo Kiponoy.
Hi, Pastor.
And good night, Philippines.
Subscribe to SMNI News Channel and turn on notification button for more news updates.